Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing with another video. This one looks. Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing with another little quick video from you. I will go ahead and start by saying this. Jegs supplied me with this rim screw kit, so I want to be upfront with you whenever I get anything for free. Just because I don't want to lead people astray, I want to be upfront. So if you ever get anything for free from any manufacturer, I will let you know. And this would be it. They didn't send me the wheels, just this and some rim screws. So what this is, you see this rim screw kit. I'm gonna kind of show you how I did it on mine. There's probably better ways to do it. I've only done this twice, so just to give you an idea. You might say, what are rim screws? Well, when they're done, it looks like this. This is the back side of the wheel. You don't put them on the front, for the record. You only put them on the rear. The idea for it is, once you mount your slicks, let's say you don't, because a lot of people don't even run rim screws. But let's say you mount your slicks. There's a chance that what can happen with the good traction and stuff, that the actual slick will spin on the rim. And if you're wanting to see if that can happen, you'll notice that a lot of racers have painted their tires. So they put a white stripe that goes across the rim and onto the tire. They'll make a pass and they'll see if it's moved. If it's moved, you're gonna lose traction. That means you've lost some of your 60-foot time because the rim's, the slick spun on the rim. So there's a couple ways to avoid it. The cheapest one by far is rim screws. You can order bead lock wheels, and what that is, it actually sandwiches the wheel or the tire on the rim itself. Those are more expensive, considerably more expensive wheels. For instance, these are like the Jegs Pro Stars. Yes, that's what I run. They're like 150 to 220 bucks. Kind of depends on what size rim you got. But if you went, they don't have a bead lock. If you went to a bead lock wheel, the ones for the Camaro, just to give you an idea, are Billet Specialties. Now, granted, they're 15-inch wide. They were $1,156 for one, so considerably more expensive. The downside also of having a bead lock is they weigh more, because the whole rotating mass will weigh more, because you've got this big old bead that goes around, and you got more screws. So all that takes more force to turn. So an alternative, and a much cheaper one, is to put rim screws in your rims. And the idea for that is, you're going to drill these holes, and they're going to go through the screw, which, let me find that, there we go. This little screw will end up going through the rim and into the bead of the wheel, or on the tire, sorry, and it prevents the tire from moving. Now, I know you might say, well, does that ruin it? On my last one, it never leaked any air, so I don't know about that. However, once you've undone the wheel or the tire, you can't reuse them again, unlike a bead lock, where if you take it off, you could use it again if you wanted. Now you might say, well, are they really that great? Most of the highest performing stuff has bead locks. However, this is kind of interesting, and I only noticed because I was watching a weird video. They were showing the Australian Pro Stock. And for those that don't know what that is, in Australia they have a Pro Stock division, and it's a full tube chassis cars, but they're limited to a maximum size about 400 cubic inches, and they're naturally aspirated, and they fly. They're running really, really good. I want to say they're in the sixes now, NA, 400 cubic inches. But I was looking at them, they had the camera on the wheel, and if you watch NHRA Pro Stock or Pro Mod or NM, they all use bead locks, but when I was looking at theirs, every single one, matter of fact, the one that set the record, had rim screws, not bead locks. Probably because they're trying to get the most amount of power to the wheel, and it takes more power to turn the bead lock, okay? So just getting that out of the way. So how do you install them? First, this kit you get will come with the following. It'll come with this plate and this punch. You'll have to buy this separately. That's the part number for it. This is the rim screw kit. But what you'll do is, what I've done on this one, is first, I tried lining up with the valve stem on the wheel itself. And then once I got that, I start with the back. And I should know about tape, just a tip, tape this part of the rim, because it's going to be sitting on the ground, like flat like that, so that you don't scratch it, because they will get scratched just by accident. So tape them first before you flip them down. I start with the back, because if you mess up on the back, the good news is no one will see. So don't start with the front, in case you mess up. Anyway, I lined it up with the valve stem hole, and you just put your plate on here like so. Now I'll warn you, this thing did not fit this rim quite well. It's like overhanging it. It's not Jeg's fault as far as this goes. It's because each wheel manufacturers, their lips are different widths. So this template doesn't always sit perfectly right in there. When I used these before with welds, they fit right in, but each one's a little different. You get the idea. Now, if you notice, this template has 16 holes. I'm not putting 16 in. You can if you want. I'm just gonna put 8. So I did one, every other one I put a mark. And that's where you put them on. So you set it on there, and then take your drill punch that comes in the kit and bam, hit your holes. Pretty simple, right? Take that out. And then what you'll do is, in that kit with the rim screws, they give you 3 extras, and the reason for it is, before you mount your slick, take your screw here, one of the screws, and screw it into the hole, and then screw it right back out, because you're gonna have your threaded holes. So when you actually go to mount your slick, the holes are already there. It's much better, really. So make sure you do that. You're gonna end up ruining this screw, because it's gonna wear out the threads, but it's better to have that on there, just letting you know. So do that, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna mark here, wherever you put this one, you're gonna mark the exact same on the other side and do the same thing on the other side. So let me flip it around, I'll show you. Boom. And then you do it on this side. Same thing. That's all you do. And then of course, what you're gonna do is you're gonna, see what I mean? I should have used tape. That scratched my rim. Luckily, I only use these for racing and they're not show car stuff, but whatever. So these wheels, since slicks are getting mounted on, they're just for racing. But tip for you guys, you're gonna need to put some tape down unless you wanna scratch them. So the other point though I do need to make is, if you look at the back, a lot of these will have these marks like this, and that makes it worse. The front side usually doesn't have that, so it's not as bad. But sometimes we have it going through here. And if you notice, it looks like I should bring it up higher, but you gotta be real careful, because if you bring that hole up on that template too high, you're up here and your screw can't come down all the way. So that's something you should play with first before you put that in. But anyway, after you do this same thing on the other side, all you do is go get your slick mounted up. Make sure you use, let me show you this, a metal stem. Don't use rubber, those are illegal. So most of your tire shops will have those anyway, or they can order them in, and put a metal stem in, and then mount your slick up, and then just run your screws through, and that's it. That's what I plan on doing the S10. Hope you get an update. Hopefully that gives you some information. I will warn you too, this kit really only has enough screws to do one wheel. You'll need 2. In the kit, by the way, it'll come with the correct drill bit that you'll need to drill the holes. That's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. If you really want to get more sophisticated, you can use some Tap Magic when you're putting the screw through, so that it cleans out the threads easier. So, but anyway, that's about it. Real simple stuff. Products brought to you by Jegs. And Jegs, thanks for supplying me with the kit. And I'll let you know how the truck runs better now with it slick. So you guys take care. Here's what they look like when they're all done. So you got your rim screws in, it's pretty evenly spaced out, and that's it. Very, very simple. I'll go ahead and tell you too, this is the S10. In case you're wondering, I know some of you are kind of curious. This is a 15 by 10 inch wide rim, and it's a 5.5 inch back spacing. This is 28-10-5, 15. It's not wide or nothing. It just barely fits, in case you're wondering on the S10. The closest spot it hits is not the bed or the frame, it's actually the leaf spring. It's about 4/10 of an inch off from hitting that on the side of the tire right here. So, and one more thing I want to point out. So I got done filming this as far as putting how to do the rim screws. I took them to go get mounted at here in Oklahoma, and I live in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, which is a suburb of Tulsa. And the place I went to go get them mounted was Robertson Tire, and those guys are phenomenal. If you happen to live in Oklahoma or around Broken Arrow area, and they're not paying me to say any of this, I was expecting to pay to have these mounted, totally was. And they mounted them up. The only thing I asked required was the metal valve stem, because of, NHRA tech, you have to have a metal stem. You can't run the rubber ones. That's the only thing I asked, just mount them up. Don't worry about balancing, because it really won't matter. And they called and said, yep, they're done. Like within an hour. 1, that's quick. And then 2, they didn't charge me a dime. Now, I'm not saying they'll do that for everybody, but I do have to give credit where credit is due. They said, we take care of racers. To me, that's important. So Robertson Tire, if you're in Tulsa area, they got several locations all over. you moved up in my book. I promise you this, the only tires will be getting mounted from you. Just to give you an idea, you see those? Same situation. I brought in a bare rim with the tire. Those right there, to mount those from Hibdon's here, it was $65 for one tire. Just to mount, which I was like, whatever. You know, everybody's got to run a business cost. So for these guys to do it free, and it's not like I asked, they didn't ask anything. They didn't owe me for anybody. I wasn't wearing my Weingarten racing stuff or nothing. They did it. So huge props to them too. So I guess in this video, thanks Jegs for the rim screw kit. They didn't do the wheels or tires, just the rim screw kit. And thanks to Robertson's for mounting them up. And hopefully this gives you some insight. There's probably more efficient ways to do it. I'm just showing you how I did it. Clearly it works. And you guys take care. Look for the progress on this truck. We're gonna get to see how it does with the slicks and trans brake. This should be interesting. You guys take care. One more quick thing I thought I'd share with you. This is the 275 6015. It's a Nitto radial tire. That's the same ProStar rims, 8-inch though. This is the ones that is in this video, the 10-inch wide, 15 inches across, 28-10-5. This combination, and by the way, with the rim screws, no rim screws. This combination weighed 44.6 pounds. This one weighed 44. So it was 2 pounds less. So 46, 44, and 6/10 on both. So that tire combination is actually 2 pounds heavier than this. Just to give you an idea. Just a little bit of information. Don't know if you ever need to know it or whatever, but just thought I'd share that with you. So the radial, smaller rim weighed more than the slick with the wider rim. Enjoy.